Two strangers, both scarred by broken marriages, meet in a therapy room where silence speaks louder than words. What begins as shy glances soon turns into a fragile connection, but old wounds threaten to tear it apart. When one act of fear makes the other feel abandoned again, everything they've built hangs by a thread. Just when it seems love is impossible, a moment of raw honesty changes everything. What follows is a journey of healing. Caleb sat quietly in the therapy room, his arms folded across his chest. He didn't like being there, but he had promised himself he would try. His marriage had ended badly, leaving him with a heart that felt too heavy. On the other side of the room sat Nora, her eyes staring at the floor. She too had walked away from a broken home, her heart bruised from years of hurt. They didn't speak to each other at first. The group leader asked everyone to share a little about themselves. When Caleb finally spoke, his voice was low, almost shaking. "I don't know if I believe in love anymore," he said. Nora lifted her eyes. She understood those words because she had felt the same way. Something in his tone stayed with her long after the meeting ended. She wondered if he was just another broken soul like her, waiting for a chance to breathe again. The next week, Caleb and Nora found themselves sitting beside each other. At first, they only exchanged small smiles, but slowly they began to talk. Caleb told her about the nights he couldn't sleep because memories of his ex-wife came back. Nora confessed how silence in her apartment scared her because it reminded her of loneliness. Their conversations grew longer, and they began to look forward to the meetings. But trust was still far away. Caleb was afraid of being hurt again. Nora was afraid of being abandoned. One evening, as they walked out together, Caleb asked, "Do you ever think love can return?" Nora looked at him and whispered, "I don't know. But maybe we can find out." Her answer made Caleb's chest feel lighter, though fear still lingered like a shadow. As the weeks passed, they started spending time outside the group. They went for walks in the park, sat by the river, and shared stories about their pasts. But not everything was smooth. One night, Caleb canceled a dinner suddenly without explanation. Nora's heart sank. Old fears came rushing back, memories of being left without a word. When Caleb tried to call her later, she didn't pick up. He felt his chest tighten with guilt. The next meeting was full of silence between them. Finally, Caleb broke it. "I was afraid," he said softly. "I thought if I got too close, I'd lose myself again." Nora's eyes filled with tears. "And I thought you were leaving me behind." The air between them was heavy, but for the first time, they spoke honestly about their fears. It was messy, but it was real. Their bond deepened slowly, like a seed pushing through soil. Caleb showed up one morning at Nora's door with breakfast, a simple gesture that said he was trying. Nora surprised him with a small gift, a notebook for his thoughts. They laughed more often now, though sometimes they argued. During one walk, a sudden storm drenched them both, and instead of running, they stood in the rain, holding each other, feeling alive. Still, doubt would creep in. At night, Caleb sometimes dreamed of his past, and Nora sometimes wondered if happiness could truly last. But when they looked at each other, they felt a warmth that neither wanted to lose. The therapy group had brought them together, but it was their courage to stay that kept them going. One evening, Caleb invited Nora to a small cafe. The lights were soft, and the smell of coffee hung in the air. His hands shook as he spoke. "I don't know the future," he said, "but I know I don't want to walk it alone. Not anymore." Nora's heart raced. She thought of the pain she had carried, the walls she had built, and the fear that had followed her for years. Then she looked at Caleb, broken, healing, brave enough to ask for another chance. With a trembling smile, she whispered, "Then let's walk it together." They reached across the table and held hands. The pain of the past didn't vanish, but something new was born, fragile, tender, and real. For the first time in a long time, love felt possible again. And this time they chose to believe in it,